Joining us now all the way from the UK is Harlee. Hello.
Hiya.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. My name's Waters. I'm joined by my co-host Calista over here. So we just kind of want to chat about the new song Reset. Why don't we get started with that, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it began as a voice memo, essentially, back in 2020. You kind of sang the hook to yourself, and now flash forward 2 years later, it's a fully fledged song that's starting your career. Tell us a little bit about the steps along the way. Like, how'd you turn it from a voice memo into a full finished product?
It was back in, I think it was like March 2020. I always thought it was February, but I went back to the voice memos and it was like March. And it was before, obviously, like the pandemic. And I was with my co-writers, Laura Welsh, Rob Harvey, and Lewis Thompson. And yeah, I knew what I wanted to write about that day. It was like, I wanted to write about, wanting to go back in time and regret, because it's such a powerful emotion. I feel like we can all relate to it as humans. And Lewis got on his laptop, and he's like one of the best producers I've ever worked with, and got some chords up and they sounded pretty cool. And then as a four, we kind of just started adding to the song, like lyric by lyric, melody by melody. And then it was Laura who did like the nanai hook, which is like really catchy. And then, I was like, press reset. No, Laura was like, press reset. And then I like finished the sentence. But yeah, we just worked really well as a team. And I think we knew when we wrote the song that it was going to be potentially big. And yeah, 2 years later, it's out. So yeah.
So it was pretty much a team effort then.
Yeah, definitely. It's very collaborative, very, very collaborative. But I think because we knew what I wanted to write about, it just kind of, I'm always, I guess, like in the room, I'm kind of always like the blabber, and then everyone else makes sense of the blabber. If that makes sense. Like I'm very like chaotic, and I'm not always the best with words. So I feel like as a four, we were just they were just like, right, okay, we'll take that and then we'll make more sense of that, and we'll take this and that and then yeah. So
Okay. Well, do you think it's really possible though for two people in a relationship to like kind of press reset and then go back to the way things once were, once something's kind of messed up?
you just got to try. I mean, you don't know until you try. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like most of the time people just leave it because
Mm-hmm.
they assume that it won't go back to the way it were and they've missed their chance, and it's never going to be the same. But I just think everyone deserves a second chance, and you're not going to know unless you try. And it's probably worse to look back and regret not doing something about it. So yeah.
What about in your life? I mean, you're still so young. So is there even a moment in your life that you would want to go back to, kind of hit the reset button and try it again?
I always try and not like think about, well, it's hard. I always think about the past and what I want to change, but I always think, obviously, I can't change anything. But I think if I was to go back, it'd probably be when I was a teen, when I was like maybe like 15 up until 18. I feel like I had quite a hard time, like mentally and emotionally, because I feel like as a teen anyway, you're going through all the motions and you're trying to figure out the world, and you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want to say, who you want to be, who you want to be friends with, who you can trust. And I think I was quite hard on myself. And I also probably didn't have as much as a voice as I do now. I feel like I say it how it is now, and I'm not afraid to like speak my mind. And if I want to say something in a song, I'll say it. Whereas like back then, I guess I was a bit scared, a bit fragile, because I was just so unsure. And I guess I didn't believe in myself, and I let other people, get inside my head. But I feel like if I was to go back, I'd definitely just tell that little girl, it's all going to be okay. And you just got to absolutely go for it. And, one day it's going to pay off, and you're going to look back and be like, I did it.
I feel like for everybody, being a teen is just like a roller coaster of like every single emotion that you can think of. But speaking about going back, you actually posted a reel of you singing Stay by Rihanna on stage back in 2012. You posted this recently. So what would be your go-to cover song now, 10 years later?
There's like probably a few. I remember when I used to sing when I was young, I loved Adele, Set Fire to the Rain. My granddad loved when I sang that one. I also like Love on the Brain by Rihanna. That is, yeah, one of my favorites. And then I've also got to have an Amy one. I always used to sing Back to Black, and Valerie as well. But Back to Black's probably my favorite one to sing.
That is a good one.
Have you got like a current favorite cover song to sing?
To be fair, I'm so like consumed with like my own music at the minute and singing my own music live that I'd probably just say my own music recently. But yeah, I think maybe one that I'd maybe like to try is like a Whitney Houston one. I know that's still not like current, but I prefer old music. Like I love old music so much. It's my favorite.
Totally. That makes sense. So while we're kind of getting to know you and your music taste, let's get to know you and the way that you present yourself out in the world too. You've got some really interesting tattoos. Do you know like how many total you have? And if so, do you have a favorite?
I've got to have like 20 odd. Yeah, it's quite a lot. And I'm only like 21. So you could say that I've been not like shouted at, but I've been told to like slow down and just like, take a minute. But I got addicted at like one point. It's quite bad. But I think one of my favorites has got to be the snake on my finger. Yeah, that was like one of the first ones I got, and I love that because I can see it the most as well, and I just look at it and think, oh, that's pretty cool. And then probably Amy as well on my arm, because I think that was done really, really well. And yeah, I just like looking at her face. She's like one of my inspirations, so it's really nice to have her on my arm.
I mean, you definitely have a lot, but you like bold body art, you like bold colors in general. Like you've had neon pink eyeshadow, bright yellow jumpers, green shoes. But what about your hair? Would you ever dye it some kind of bright color?
Do you know what? I did actually dye like the top part of it red once.
Ooh.
Was it last year or the year before? It might have been the year before, 2020. But I didn't keep it up because it's so high maintenance. And then as soon as it started going like a wishy-washy color, I was like, oh no, I hate it. So this is actually still like my natural hair is like dark ginger, like strawberry blonde. So I've had it like lightened over the past few years. So, but maybe I will go for like, maybe like a blue or an orange or a purple or a pink, who knows? But yeah, maybe a wig though.
Fun. I feel like every time we interview an artist together, Calista always asks them, hey, are you considering red?
See, like your red hair is amazing. Like, is that like high maintenance?
Well, I don't need to bleach this one, and I've got really dark hair. So apparently red goes onto dark hair really well. But the high maintenance part is I have to go every single time it grows out, and my hair grows really fast. So that's the high maintenance part. But if you don't have to bleach it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I bet it looks really nice, really suits you.
See, I've never tried any of this, so this is all getting a little lost on me. To wrap us up over here, since you're coming to us from the other side of the Atlantic, we wanted to play a little game about some United Kingdom British celebrities that our listeners would know, and just kind of a series of what ifs, if you will. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so if you could collaborate with any of the former One Direction members, which boy would you choose?
I think I would have, if this was like a few years ago, I would have said Zayn, but I think right now it's got to be Harry. Harry is just like, yeah, amazing.
Absolutely.
Perfection.
A girl saying like my favorite One Direction member used to be Zayn, but now it's definitely Harry. Zayn's just gone MIA. It's kind of hard to keep up.
That's why. It's because like I don't know where he is, so I'm just like, well, Harry's more present, so I feel like it's just the answer.
Yeah, and I swear I thought you were gonna say Louis Tomlinson earlier when you were talking about your song. You said Louis Thompson, I think.
Oh yeah, Louis Thompson. Similar names.
I think we both did a double take there. It's like, hold on a second.
Yeah, that would have been mad.
All right. If you had to cook one meal for Gordon Ramsay, what would you make?
Because this is like one of my favorite meals and it's like proper English. It's got to be a roast dinner.
Oh, I love
Got to be a roast dinner.
roast. Yeah,
I
I
was,
love Sunday roast.
I was thinking like long and hard about this because I also like steak, like medium rare, and I'm sure he likes his medium rare. But I was like, I feel like the roasting is just on point.
I mean, the real question is, do you think he'd actually like your roast dinner?
Let's just say I haven't actually made one that many times, so I might have to make a few more times and then present it to him. But I mean, yeah.
Okay. If the opportunity arose to drive any fancy supercar, sports car, luxury car, whatever, with the guys from Top Gear, what would you want to get behind the wheel of?
It's got to be a Rolls Royce. They are just like I've not even seen them that many times in person, but I remember it going past me on like the motorway when I was in like my average car. No, it's not average, but compared to that, it was average. And I was like, I wanna experience that one day. That'd be pretty sick.
You're talking about like the Phantom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the inside of it, like the interior is unreal. So,
yeah, that would definitely be an experience. Another experience, if you could time travel to any period like Doctor Who, what year would you go back to?
Yeah, I was thinking long and hard about this as well, because there's probably a few times that I'd like to like see what was going on, but I think probably my number one would have to be the 1980s, purely because of the music that came out of that era was just just amazing. And it like for me it seemed like one of those eras where it was just like proper ravey, and like people just were so in the moment, like phones weren't even probably a thing back then. I don't think they were anyway. And like people just would just go out and party all night long with like no social media and be so present and like have loads of fun with their friends. And I just love to experience like that. I think that would be pretty nice.
See, and we go back and forth about this all the time too. I'm such an old soul that I'm always like, I miss the time before this was like the answer to everything. I have no questions anymore. There's nothing really to learn anymore. It's like all able to look up. It's all one phone call away. It's all one text away. Like as a person who also did not live through that time period, it sounds great to me too.
The only thing I thought of when you said that was like, oh yeah, then your parents can't call you to be like, why aren't you home yet? And you're just like partying.
I'm sure you could get away with a lot of stuff.
Okay, last question for you, Harlee, and thank you so much for taking all this time for us. We wanted to know, now that you're officially one debut single into it, do you have plans for an album anytime soon?
I mean, that will definitely come one day. Probably not soon, but it's definitely in the works. Like I will say I've got quite a lot of songs in my locker, so that's good. It'll be a few singles, an EP, and then an album will be on the way, which is exciting.
Wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more from you. We love Reset. I've kind of had that stuck in my head over the past week or so as we set all of this up. So loving the debut. You can only go up from here and keep getting better and keep refining your voice and hopefully, finding success both on your side of the Atlantic and ours.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.